because of the pandemic, we all tended to lose focus on other natural disasters like Hurricane Laura in August, but not WaterStep. They stepped up. Ooh, I like stepped up. Anyway, they stepped up once again, and they're helping people right here in the United States as well. Okay, natural disasters. It wasn't just the pandemic, was it, Mark? There were other things happening.
Right.
The pandemic kind of it took all the headlines. Understandably so. We understand, but you guys had to step in some circumstances that were much different than what the pandemic was offering up.
Yeah, well, like Claudia and Brendan were talking about earlier, we're able to do a lot with our bleach maker locally, nationally, around the world, which is an honor. But then we had this thing, you know, we've always got the hurricane season. And down in Lake Charles, they got hammered. And what we've been doing at WaterStep, I mentioned earlier a little bit about, you know, technique. And one of the guys at WaterStep, our Vice President, Director of Field and Training Operations, Kurt Daniels, started looking at our disaster work, our tools, and we're always trying to think out of the box, right? So he's thinking about how do we put these in a box so that disaster workers can have access to everything they could imagine to bring a new game to the table for disaster response. So you got bottled water, which we're real familiar with. Then you got really expensive reverse osmosis systems that are energy hogs and take somebody trained to do it. But there's nothing right now in the middle niche for a disaster worker to be able to manage a large amount of disinfectant and provide that a large amount of safe water. So we went to Lake Charles, worked with a group out of Georgia, a group out of California, the Baptist Relief Group. We worked with them. The Cajun Army, worked with them a little bit down there, and we set up at a camp that had about 800 disaster workers with this WOW cart that we've come up with and launched that about a year and a half ago, and knocked it out of the park. Safe water for showers, safe water for, I mean, they were cooking 16,000 meals a day, something like that. So we had 6,000 plus gallons a day, showers, food prep, drinking, washing, using, and they didn't have any safe water there. I mean, out of the plumbing, the water company hadn't been able to make the water safe. So we pulled the water straight out of the plumbing, we put it through our system, put it in a tanker truck. They got access all over the base. It's
impressive. Matt CASTOR, I'm going to talk to you. Matt, welcome, Matt, back to the show. You're Director of Development for WaterStep. Matt, I've said this to you before, but I mean it. Your resume, very impressive. You chose to work for WaterStep. Is it because you can see all of the labor, the efforts of you and your team, you put in and you go, wow, we're making a difference?
It's huge. You know, to me, finding an organization like WaterStep that has that immediate, direct impact, it means so much to me, not only as an employee of WaterStep, but as a donor. It means a lot. Just to see when somebody has the passion to invest in an organization like ours, you want to make sure it's really out there making a difference. And I'm seeing that happen with Hurricane Laura, with the projects that Claudia is doing in Ecuador and in Africa. It's amazing things are happening. And you look at a year where we had a global pandemic, and we got more done than we've ever gotten done. And I'm so excited. So looking ahead to 2021, it's going to be the biggest year we've ever had.
Well, what are some of the usual questions you get from potential donors that make them donors? What is it, do you think, convinces your loyal donors, your rainmakers, as you call them? Yeah. What convinces them to go with WaterStep?
You know, when you get a story about kids in Rwanda, for instance, who, you know, they go to a school that's running a 60% attendance rate because the kids are so sick from the water. And we were able to take a system like the M100 and put it in there and increase that to over 90% attendance rate within 2 months. That's an immediate impact. Just doing something, using a simple tool, using simple steps to make a difference. And it's not us doing something extraordinary. We're utilizing the people there in country who have the passion to get it done.
And we talked about all the counties that have been affected because of the disinfectant that you were able to make with the bleach maker here in the state of Kentucky. So you're reaching out, but you're also keeping it right here within the state of Kentucky circle, which is fantastic. What would you tell folks right now who are getting ready to pick up that phone and they're thinking about giving to WaterStep? What would you tell them, Mark?
I'd tell them you're going to be able to embrace 25 years of history. You're going to be able to launch that 25 years of history. And it's not just 25 years of history of work. It's 25 years of working with people that's growing. You'll be able to be a part of the WaterStep Nation follow these stories that Matt's talking about and be able to understand the data of your investment. So you're getting to be a part of the stories, but the fact of the matter is, like Matt said, in Rwanda, you got a 90% increase rate in attendance at school, which helps the entire community. And we see that every day, John, every darn day. And so if I'm a donor, I want to be a part of this because I want to be a part of being able to raise the level of an entire community's health, their education, the ability for me to go to work. If I'm sick, like we were talking about those communities in Ecuador, imagine how sick I am and I can't go to work. Yeah. So I'm raising the level of the community, the financial backbone of the community. It's all win-win.
Okay, we've got about 30 seconds. Yeah. We're talking to a lot of compassionate individuals out there, obviously.
Right.
But, Matt, if corporate donors, you'll take those as well.
Absolutely. We'll take anyone, John. You know, it takes about $5,000 to do a full-on project with safe water and sanitation in a community.
That's not much, really.
I'd like to challenge the Louisville community to do that today and text WaterStep to 44321 to make that happen. Right. We can come together. This is a compassionate city, as you know. We can come together as a community and change the lives of thousands of people today.
Matt CASTOR, Mark HOGG, thank you very much.
Happy New Year, John.
Jump on the phone right there is the number on your screen, or go to waterstep.org. We'll be right back on WAVE3 Listens.